get ready as today we are going to explore how different organisms who share this planet that we live on, how they interconnect, and what happens if there is some kind of an imbalance. Let's get into it today with a warm up activity. For this activity, grab your whiteboards and a marker, and then come back and play the video when you're ready. For the first part of this activity, I just want you to look at the screen and write any of the animals that you notice on the screen on your whiteboards. Pause the video and do that now. Now, I want you to first think about what those animals might eat or what animals might eat your animal. Write that on your whiteboards now and pause the video. Finally, I want you to write what you think will happen if the original animal you saw was no longer around. Let's say the animal became extinct, which means there are no more of that particular animal left on the earth. What would happen around that animal in its environment? Write your thoughts and predictions on your whiteboards now and come back when you're ready. As a group, share some of your predictions, creating a class poster collecting the different thoughts from your classmates. We will look at this poster again at the end of this unit to see if our predictions were correct. Now, while we explore sharing the planet over the next 2 days, today we will focus on an article called What We Lose When Animals Become Extinct. After we go through this article today and collect important information that will relate to our essential questions, we will use it tomorrow to create a written report and a poster about an extinct or almost extinct animal. Now, let's talk about our essential question. Remember, essential questions in science and in different lessons can help us think about what we already know about a topic, and it helps us connect to new ideas that we're going to learn today to help us produce a new thought about the topic. Our essential questions will be focused on our different science topics. So look for keywords. In those keywords, the minute you see them and recognize them, I want you to think, what do I already know about this topic? Once you have that in your mind, you want to look at the question again to see what we're trying to answer today or what are we trying to answer about that topic. It's important to remember that an essential question is like a goal as well. By the end of our science lesson, you should confidently be able to answer the essential question. Let's go over our essential question for today. Let's look at our essential questions for this unit. Number 1, listen to me first. Why should we protect plants and animals? Read that one with me. Why should we protect plants and animals? Let's look at the second one. What are some ways we can protect organisms? Read that one with me. What are some ways we can protect organisms? And our last one, listen to me first. What happens if these organisms go extinct? Read that one with me. What happens if these organisms go extinct? For this activity, you're going to need a piece of paper and a pencil. Your teacher will hand out access to an article. We'll use this article and this piece of paper to collect information based on our essential questions. I'll show you how to set up your paper once you have your supplies. Pause the video and grab that now. Our first step for this activity is going to be to write the title of the article on the top of the paper. The title for the article we're reading today is called What We Lose When Animals Become Extinct. Read that title with me now. What we lose when animals become extinct. While we read this article, we're going to go through and summarize what is happening in each of the subheadings. Again, I'll show you how we'll set up the rest of the paper in a minute. After we do that, we're going to discuss the different questions that we saw in our essential questions to talk more about what's happening to food chains and organisms once there is an imbalance or our resources are interconnected from each other. Our our next job is going to be to locate the subheadings of the paper. You can write subheading, or when you find the title of each of the subheadings, write them on the paper. Locate the first subheading and write it in the same location that I have subheading on my paper. While reading each of the subheadings, we're going to collect 3 different points of information to add to our piece of paper. Your job as a class will be to read the section, pause at the end of the section, and collect the information together. You want it to be facts from the article, so going back and underlining things in the actual article can help us remember what we think is important or what we want to remember in the future. The final part of today's task is going to be to look at all the information that we collect from each of the subheadings and any of the information we may have underlined to help us answer those 3 essential questions as a class. You'll have a class discussion talking about each of these questions once you finish reading the article. Once each of you have shared, or a few of you have shared your thoughts, as a class, you'll write a full sentence to answer each of the questions. Then you'll use the information you have collected overall to come up with one sentence as the big idea of the article. That means if you were to tell somebody what this article is mostly about, what would you tell them? Now that we have set up our papers, it is your job, scientists, to start filling it out with facts from the article. Read the article as a class and pause after every subheading to collect information. Then once you're through the article all the way, it's time to answer those questions at the bottom and come up with that big idea. Good luck, scientists, and I'll see you guys soon.